Thank you, Will. I'll pull something the next time I try and write for you. Okay. All this week, by the way, we are going to be teaming up with the Super Bowl of Caring, a support group here that actually really helps a lot of local charities. Back in November, you might remember, we did that whole telethon here at Kron 4 where we encouraged viewers to donate, and you did $70,000 during that Table for All telethon. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and super inspiring to hear from viewers all across the Bay Area. You and I were working the phones. The whole team was really working the phones all throughout the day, and just so touching to hear from viewers like you just wanting to give back to the community. More than $4,300 went to the food bank of Contra Costa and Solano, and our Gail Ong has much more on this story.
Everything has to be looked at to make sure it's usable. Paula Fleeman is a volunteer at the food bank of Contra Costa and Solano in Concord. Push it over there, and the next person comes and puts it where it goes. Tasked with sorting through donated goods Tuesday afternoon, she's got it down like a well-oiled machine. All these barrels and all these bins will be empty by the time we're done. Fleeman spends 4 to 5 days a week at the food bank, clocking in hundreds of volunteer hours. Yeah, I just rolled over 700. I'm a little bit behind a couple of friends. They're at 900 and 1,000, but we're getting there. Retired for more than a year now, she says she had a simple reason for choosing to spend her free time here. It's fulfilling. When I was working, I used to work at the food bank. I worked for Costco, so we were always doing donations to them. And I always said when I retire, I'm going to work for the food bank. So I came here for a bagging of produce, and just kind of fell in love with it. The people were really friendly. We got a big donation! Back in November, Kron 4 viewers donated more than $70,000 during our Table for All food telethon, with more than $4,300 benefiting this food bank.
So for every $1 donated, we're able to provide 2 meals to the community.
Lisa Laris with the food bank's advocacy team says that support makes a real difference.
It shows the care. It shows that no one wants to see anybody go hungry. It shows that the neighbors care about each other. And just spending your time here is just such a heartwarming thing, knowing that you're providing food for the community.
Back on the line, Fleeman says she also helps distribute the food she packs, giving her a full view of its impact. You see the families, you see the kids that are coming in for their food, and they're very appreciative too. So that's kind of the full circle. You get to see where this stuff ends up and how it helps people. Time to get back to work. As Fleeman wraps up her shift, the next group of volunteers are stretching and ready to step in.
And whether it's donating your time or money, the food bank is always looking for help. To learn more, you can visit our website, kron4.com. Reporting here in Concord, Gail Ong, Kron 4 News.
Well, if you want to help Super Bowl of Caring, go ahead and scan the QR code that you see on your screen. That'll take you to the Tackle Hunger website, and there's a cool little tool there where you can put in your zip code, and it'll return to you the addresses and the links to the food charities right near you, and you can just click on that and donate right there through that portal, so you're helping charities in your actual neighborhoods. Meantime, officials with Tackle Hunger will be gathering this morning to help raise money for tackling food insecurity as they do. This is all part of the Bay Area Super Bowl of Caring events happening all throughout the week. In fact, later tonight, there's going to be a fundraising dinner and auction at Scott's Seafood Grill in Oakland. That event is going to feature former 49er champ Eric Wright and other special guests as well. For more than 35 years, Super Bowl of Caring has generated more than $220 million for food charities across the country.
I love that word right there. Super Bowl. Well, most official Super Bowl events are in San Francisco. Oakland is hosting a number of activities, including the official Super Bowl watch party on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yesterday, we had the Oakland Police Department. They kind of outlined what plans they have in place to keep everybody safe. We have Kron 4's Dan Kermit with a closer look at that.
The official Super Bowl watch party begins Sunday at 11 at the Henry J. Kaiser Center for the Arts. Oakland Police will have a mobile command post inside the event space, but a complement of officers are already being deployed elsewhere as the big game approaches.
Additional officers will be deployed in and around Lake Merritt and focus on robbery suppression and to address and enforce any enforcement related to illegal ATVs and dirt bike activity. The Oakland Police Department Special Operations Division will deploy throughout the city. Our Oakland Police Department's helicopter unit will be in the air. Special weapons and tactics officers will be deployed throughout the city.
At a news conference Tuesday, Interim Police Chief James Spears said special teams and undercover officers are already being used to combat prostitution and human trafficking. In fact, in the last month, 37 people have been arrested, the majority from outside the city.
We do know that when there is enforcement, that the violent crime also goes down. What's unacceptable is men coming into our community not being held accountable for exploiting our young ladies and sometimes our young men.
Oakland police are also prepared for sideshow activity and put out a strict warning.
If you come into our city to drive recklessly, expect that we'll show up to your house, your driveway, tow your car, and possibly take you to jail. We've had more than 16 vehicles towed leading up to this event already.
The department has not canceled days off, but is relying on overtime for the increase in personnel. The chief also said that they've gotten no indication of any sort of federal ICE deployment to Oakland this Super Bowl weekend, which is similar to what we've heard from other jurisdictions. At OPD headquarters, Dan Kerman, Kron 4 News.
7:40 the time, and U.S. skier Lindsey Vonn says her Olympic comeback isn't over just yet. Now, you may have heard about a week ago, she suffered a serious knee injury. The Olympic gold medalist and world champion returned for the 2026 Winter Games after being gone from the sport for about 6 years. But last week, she says she suffered a torn ACL, bone bruising, and meniscus damage in some pre-Olympic runs out in Switzerland. In fact, she had to be airlifted off the mountain after that crash, and there you see video of that. Well, now she says she's not currently experiencing any pain. She feels strong, and she is still taking things day by day, but she's determined to compete.
I never expected to be here. I felt like this was an amazing opportunity to close out my career in a way that I wanted to. Hasn't gone exactly the way I wanted to, but I don't want to have any regrets. You know, I'm here. I'm still here. I think I'm still able to fight. I think I'm still able to try, and I will try as long as I have the ability to. I will not go home regretting not trying.
Well, Vonn is scheduled for her first training sessions tomorrow, with an official race slated for Sunday. We will be following her progress.
Still ahead on the Kron 4 Morning News, Ice Out frog posters are popping up in San Francisco. How they're linked to Latin music star and Super Bowl halftime performer Bad Bunny.